Okay, folks, we are now queuing up our special event. You'll hear us dial. We are dialing Josh Howie, who is a nationally renowned comedian, and he's going to be doing some work at the Ark in Stockton. And as I speak, we are dialing Josh. So, you'll hear the ring, and hopefully we'll get Josh.
Hello?
Hello, is that Josh?
Yes, hi, hey.
Hi, this is Robbie Gordon of Ignition Radio.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, how's things?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good, good. I understand that you're in Stockton. You're going to be working on the Ark for a while?
Yeah, exactly. On coming on Friday. No, Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great, great. Can you tell us how you got into comedy, Josh? And what were your beginnings in comedy?
Sure. Well, like most comics, you do like these sort of little pub gigs with 5 people, and you kind of drive all over the country, and you're not very funny. I think that's it's just repeatedly dying for night upon night. But the reason I started was because there was this guy that I was hanging out with called Adam Bloom. He's a very funny comic, and I had a normal day job, but I'd sort of see him and be like, oh yeah, I'm going off to Dubai and I'm doing some gigs, and they sort of putting me up in 5-star hotels, and I was like, wow, that seems amazing. That just seems like such an amazing life. And he was like, well, give it a go. So I did, and what happened was my first gig was really great, and I thought, well, this is it. I've got it made. And then every gig for the 2 years after that was absolutely terrible. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a little bit harder than I thought. Sure,
sounds great. And you got a sitcom as well. You did a radio sitcom, didn't you, on the Beeb? We don't talk about it much, but you did.
Radio 4, yeah, I did it. It came out last couple of months ago, finished a few months ago, and it was called Josh Howie's Losing It, and it was 6 episodes of. It's very essentially like me and my wife and I, based on us having our first child and me losing it, I guess, and taking very silly events and taking them far too far, which is my what I tend to do, unfortunately, for everyone around me.
I guess that's an inherent thing with comedians. You must rely to a large extent on audience interaction as well. Otherwise a stand-up comedian...
Absolutely. I mean, that's what's nice about doing the tour, is normally when I'm doing... I mean, I've been a stand-up now for 15 years, so I've traveled the world and done lots of festivals and solo shows and various other things. But this is my first actual solo, like, UK-wide tour. And what I love about it is exactly that, is I can actually really talk and have fun with the audience. Whereas if I'm doing... the Comedy Store in Manchester on a Saturday night, you've got 20 minutes and you've just got to bang out everything like super quickly because there's a bunch of other people on. Whereas when you're providing the whole entertainment for the night, you get that time, you get that hour and a half to really sort of talk to people and have fun, and it creates a very different type of experience, and I love it. That's what I'm loving most about it, actually.
That's what comedy is all about. If you watch and listen to the classic comedians, that's how they worked. Can you do you script in advance, Josh? Do you do any scripting in advance?
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I'm touring with now, because I haven't done like a solo tour, like UK tour, I've just taken the best bits, things that I've been developing for 15 years, so, some of these jokes and some of these stories. So, yeah, absolutely. But I think the trick of it is, I mean, I've got probably like 4 hours of material that I've written over that time, and but it's sort of I've sort of cherry picked the best of that stuff, and then I kind of go into the actual show itself and see who is there, and adjust what I'm going to talk about accordingly, and sort of improvise through those bits. But the core skeleton of it is absolutely written, and and stuff that I know is funny because I've been doing it, for years, really. So and the more you do it, the richer it becomes because you add more to it and it has more nuance.
Sounds fantastic. So when are you coming up to the Ark?
I'm coming for Saturday night, tomorrow night. Today is Friday, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow night I'm going to be there. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Is this part of your UK tour then? Because you are engaged on a UK tour now, aren't you?
Yeah, well, last night I was in Leicester, and then I'm going to be in Edinburgh the following week, and then Glasgow. So yeah, it's and I've already been doing it for the last few months. So this is probably the best time for people to come and see me, because the tour is like all sort of bedded in and learned, and all the rough edges are sort of have been kind of worked out. And yet, but I'm not yet too cynical or sick with it like I will be in a couple of months. So this is the good time to come and see the tour.
Sure. Yeah, I may try and get there tomorrow night. See you at the Ark. Tell us a bit more about the sitcom then. How did all that come about? Was it did they approach you, or did you approach them?
Well, there was a producer who works for the BBC. He was he produced Little Britain when it was on the radio before it went to telly. And he came to see me do an Edinburgh show that I wrote a few years ago. And actually, to be honest, he was actually there to see someone else. And I happened to be on the bill that night. But he came up to me after and said that there's something in there that I think would be a good sitcom. So we worked on it and we tweaked it. And it took a couple of years of us kind of meeting up every month or two and thinking out ideas and writing it out and stuff. And then finally it got to a point where we could present it to the way that Radio 4 works is they take ideas a couple of times a year, and they take they sort of they might get like a 1,000 ideas or something, or but from that they whittle it down and they sort of choose about 50 that they want to see a bit more of, and so then you write some more scenes, and then from that they might take 3 or 4 that and in my case they wanted to see like a pilot script for it, and I did that, and then they were like, yeah, that's funny. Let's make it a series. So it was probably about 4 years, the whole process to it. And then there was a year of writing and then waiting for it to come out. So it's a long thing, but at the same time, that's good, because the more time you have, the more you can work on it and the better you can make it. And I wanted to make sure that it was as good as it could possibly be.
Sure, and I take it you've had a lot of positive, feedback from the sitcom. So where do you go next?
Well, yeah, it got nominated for a BBC Radio Award, so that was really nice for like best comedy in front of a live audience. So that's really encouraging, and hopefully we're waiting now. You submitted, like you have to sort of submit it again to hopefully get another series. So that would obviously be my next focus. And then I'm working on a movie script, and I'm working on another idea I've had for a sitcom with a friend of mine. So it's doing all these different things and seeing which one kind of hits first, and then really plowing all your energy into it. And also, I've got 4 young children, so that takes up a fair amount of time as well.
Yes, of course. Do you use a lot of visual interaction? Because obviously, with a radio sitcom, that could be problematic. But TV would seem to be maybe the way forward.
Yeah, of course, I'd love to do television. And when I wrote the sitcom, I certainly wrote it to actually have it. It has quite a vision. There's a lot of action in it, so it wouldn't. I wrote it in a very visual way, hoping that, yeah, of course, you want someone to sort of go, yeah, let's put this on telly, and you meet with different production companies and stuff, and talk about how to make that work exactly. So that would be absolutely a long-term thing. But there's, at the same time, I've got to be honest, there's something about radio. There's much more of a freedom. There's not people to sort of interfering with you, and sort of not too many cooks. Like, you kind of, in radio, you get left alone a little bit and so it's a very sort of pure essence of what I wanted, because I just got to do it by myself, really, and the producer helps and gives feedback, but really you're kind of left to your own devices, and that I think is better. Whereas I think sometimes when you start getting like committees involved, which television can turn into, I think a lot of good ideas can get watered down because you're trying to make lots of different people happy.
Sure. It must be fun, you must get a real buzz out of it when, the audience, they really get into your show, and, you're making them laugh, and, it must work 2 ways. So you must really, really enjoy what you're doing. And I guess that, kind of comes across in your performance.
I do enjoy it when people are laughing. When they're not, it's not so much fun. Unfortunately, the good thing is that doesn't actually happen so much anymore, but it did used to. But it's an amazing feeling. You almost go into a kind of altered state where the time just goes by so quickly, and you look at what I'm doing sort of 2 40-minute sections, and I'll just be like, what, suddenly I'll see a red light at the back of the room from the lighting person saying that, indicating that's like 40 minutes that I've done. I'm like, what? Where did that time go? It just disappears, and it's because you sort of, it's a very sort of special feeling, and it's lovely because it's a communal feeling as well, and you're creating this experience, but you're all kind of in it together, and that's what's lovely.
Sure, yeah, sure. Radio is kind of like that, especially when the audience, start giving you feedback, and you do get a buzz out of it. So, how about giving us a sneak kind of a bit of your show? Give us a bit of your scripting. Come on, give us a few jokes.
Well, do you have any watershed concerns? I wouldn't want to get you in trouble.
Not a problem, as long as it's clean, as long as keep the beep, we'll beep.
That's the problem. Well, okay, this is probably the cleanest, trying to think of the cleanest joke that I have, the most radio, I mean, that's the other thing, is that my radio sitcom was, because it's Radio 4 and it's daytime, so you absolutely have to keep it clean and when you're doing television stuff. But what I like about live stand-up is you can take risks and you can push it a bit more. So when I do my live stuff, it's definitely a bit harsher and whatever, and it's actually hard for me to even think of. I've got one joke that might be okay to say, but it's not. But the rest of it is absolutely not fit for daytime radio consumption.
Do you remember a guy called Jasper Carrot, Josh?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, brilliant.
Would you kind of say you, I don't know, modelled yourself something like Jasper? Because I personally, when Jasper was at his height, I used to watch him every week on TV, and I couldn't stop laughing. It was just so funny, the way he just did it naturally. It was so funny. Do you kind of be like that?
I think I remember watching Jasper Carrot on television, same thing, and absolutely used to make me laugh. The comics that I like more, though, are a lot of American comics. So it's like people like Woody Allen, Lenny Bruce, Bill Hicks, Richard Pryor. Those are Chris Rock. I mean, those are the people who. Then you got like Seinfeld and Larry David. So I definitely, there's more of an American sensibility to what I do. I do like a lot of UK acts, but I love a lot of gagsmiths. So I like people like Milton Jones.
I'm going to call it a day. Lovely to speak to you. Thank you for coming on onto the show. And I'll try and get to the Ark if I can tomorrow night. See you in action.
Okay, well, lovely talking to you. Please do come.
Thank you very much, George. Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.